Do you ever go on vacation and find tons of rainbows? Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to work on a blog layout, that I found in the CM blog, and it's super cute and I think it turns out really nice. We have more rainbow pages to do, and so I was looking for a way to use my scraps and provide a variety of colors kind of on there. Which is harder to do when most of the papers I've been using are green and blue and, kind of go along with the things you find in Ireland, right? But we threw in, I threw in some, I'm going to throw in some rainbow-ish colors too. So hopefully you will like this. It comes together, I think, pretty well, and it's pretty versatile for you to use up your scraps. So every once in a while, I don't know about you, but I have a ton of scraps and I just have to try to use them best I can. And then I don't feel as bad about throwing the little bits away, right? Because I feel like I've gotten my use out of the paper. So let's check out my workspace. Oh, before we do that, two things. Be sure you register and pay your registration fee, and for the sketch challenge that's going to start in August. That starts really soon. I know it doesn't seem like it, but it'll be in like a week and a half or so. And so we need to make sure everybody gets registered and ready for that. Once you are registered, then you'll get an invitation from me to join the private Facebook group. So please don't try to join the Facebook group before you have registered and paid your fee, because I do have to check that before I let people into the private Facebook group. Um, so yeah, please make sure you go to the link in the description of the video. It will link you to the registration area, and you can send your money into PayPal and all will be well, and then you'll get an invitation from me to the private Facebook group. Also, ending today is today at noon is, I'm pretty sure it's at noon. Actually, nope. Actually, it ends at, yes, it starts and ends at noon. So it will be ending at noon Central Time today. So this video is going to go up at midnight, and hopefully you will see it before noon if you haven't ordered already, to take advantage of the summer promo, which is super fun. Remember, it's these fun collapsible bags, and this is the smallest one, super cute, and the smallest one holds 8 of your winged punches. So a super fun way to bring your punches along with you to a crop or to a retreat. A super easy and fun way, and it's really not too heavy with 8 of them in here. It really works well. I have crates that I keep mine in for storage, and this is almost exactly the same size as those crates that I use. So just right, and it's got handles built in, so perfect. Make sure you take advantage of it while you can, and you only can until noon today, so jump over and make your order if you haven't already. Let's check out my workspace and we'll get started working on our rainbow page today. All right, so this is my workspace for today, and we are going to work on this beautiful layout that came out recently with the Relax into Summer collection. I'm not really sure who the creator was of this, but I will try to look that up and put it in the details of this video so that you know. Many of our CM designers are so fantastic, and since this is mainly centered around a border, I'm betting it's probably Chrislyn Matei that did this one, but I'm not certain. So I will double check that, and if you will check the details of this video, you will find out for sure. As you can see, we are working on some rainbow photos again today in my Ireland scrapbook, and we are going to use some scraps because this layout is perfect for utilizing scraps. Now, all of her scraps are the same size. All of her strips that she's used here are all the same width, it looks like. But I am going to, I think, going to go ahead and use different sizes and see how that goes. See how that will work. Okay, so let's just, it might end up being a hot mess. I have to give you that caveat right now, but we're gonna try it. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so on my table I have a bunch of scraps, varying sizes. Some of them are long, some of them are short, some of them are thick, some of them are narrow. I have a sheet of this rainbow collection or rainbow paper from Feeling Bright. I have 2 pieces of shimmer, a gold shimmer, and I think this is sandy shimmer, if I'm right. This is Kelly Green cardstock, not a full sheet, just some backup. I have 2 sheets from, and let me see, I believe this is from the NSD pack from 2021. And I have a scratch piece of paper, essentially, which is a cover sheet from one of the Ireland packs. So we are going to start by saying these 2 sheets, the dark ones here, are going to be my base sheets. They're going to be the bottom of all of this. And I chose them on purpose. I chose them for 2 reasons. One is because this paper is so dark that I have a really hard time using it. And I know that might seem odd, but sometimes when papers are really dark, unless I'm doing a page that is of something that's scary, or I don't know, I just don't think about using dark papers very often, and that is really to my detriment, to be honest, because photos bounce off of dark paper really well. You can see how that's going to look really nice with the dark background. It's going to jump off the page, even though it's a darker photo with the sky being so gray. But I think it will complement really, really nicely. So these are going to be our base sheets for today. I'm not going to use originally I thought, oh, I could use that stripe. But with the frame that they've got here, I don't want to use this stripe. I want something that's going to be a little more subdued. So that's why I'm going with the dark. Okay? We're going to use this as the base for this. We're going to build our patchwork on that. So I'm going to grab my trimmer here and we are going to start. And now on the blog, I'm sure there are instructions for how to do this. And if I was smart, I probably would have looked at the instructions, but I haven't, because that would be too easy, I guess. So just looking at this, I'm looking at the page and I'm just gonna walk you through my thought process here, okay? So I'm looking at the page and this border takes up roughly half the page, right? And this is a 12-inch page, so that tells me that this amount here is going to be 6 inches. Okay, so whatever I use for the underneath base, that edge right there is going to be almost 6 inches. It looks like a little bit of our base sheet is showing at the bottom here. So it's probably more like 5 3/4 by the time they are finished. Okay, but there is at least a 1/2 inch here and a 1/2 inch here that are not used. So that means that we're down to 4 3/4, if I did my math right. And then 1/2 of 4 is 2 and 1/2 of 3/4 is 3/8. So what if we did 2 1/2? We'll just make these each 2 1/2. That will make this 5 1/2. And then we have, it only gives us 1/4 of an inch, but we can scoot our borders on the edges in if we need to. Would that work? Maybe we better go with 2 1/4. So we'll make this piece 2 1/4, this piece 2 1/4, which would be 4.5, and then a 1/2 inch here would be 5, and a 1/2 inch here would be 5.5, and that would be really close to what we need. Okay, so let's do this. So we said 4.5 would make each side 2 1/4. I'm just going to go with 4 3/4, and that may make things a little wonky, but we're just going to go with it right now. Okay. All right. Now, to get these angles the way that you want them without doing 2 separate strips here, this is what I am going to suggest. I'm going to start with a square. So we're going to take this scrap right here, which is measuring just about 3 inches wide. So we're going to cut that into a 3-inch square. And again, I have no idea if this is how the designer of this layout created hers, but I'm going off of my own idea of how I would do this if it were me. Okay, so I'm going to take this 3-inch square, I'm going to cut it into 2 triangles, not putting my trimmer too far away. All right, and then I'm going to, as you can see here, they've got one paper here and one paper here. So I'm thinking that we need a bigger triangle. Look at that, those don't meet. But they should meet. Actually, you know what? We could still use them. They could still meet, and it would be just fine. Okay, I'm going to show you how we're going to do the single page rather than a double page layout. And mine will be a double page in the album, but I'm only going to show you how to do a single page today. And the reason is because this is going to take a little while to create. I can tell you that right now. So I don't want to take all of your time today. So I'm going to just show you half, and then I'll come back and finish the other half another day. All right. Okay, so I'm going to, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to place this triangle. I'm going to center it and place it right on the edge here. So just about 3 inches in from one of the edges is where that point is going to go. And I have this vertical so that I can just see it a little easier. It's not going to be vertical on the layout, it's just vertical so that I can get a better sense of what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm just centering it on between those 2 points, because I want my points to be as close as possible. Okay, and those are going to be our guides essentially for creating the rest of this layout. Now I'm going to take these, and an embellishment's going to go over that gap in the middle. See how there's an embellishment here and she's got a photo there? I don't know that a photo is going to go there for me, but I could definitely put an embellishment over it and that would be perfect. Okay, so I'm going to take some of this paper. Do you remember this? This was from, oh, and I'm thinking I need to cut the angle. This was from the waterfall page we did just recently. So it's a page from made by Reminisce, which is not a CM paper, but that's okay. I've had to kind of branch out with my papers because they It's hard to manage doing 4 albums on this similar themes and only having 2 paper packs of Ireland themed paper to work with. So I'm doing the best I can. Alright, so I'm just going to start adding scraps and lining them up, and I'm cutting this on the 45-degree axis. So I'm using my 45-degree line here to be able to cut pieces. Let's use a couple of these. So I'm just lining up each piece on that 45-degree line to trim the edge. I'm going to do 2 of these so we can use both sides of the paper. And as you can imagine, this is going to take just a little bit of time to get all of this aligned. The top, we're going to just come in here with the top and line that up like that. And then I'm going to come in here with my scissors, and each of these will get trimmed, and I think most of them I will try to trim using my my big trimmer, but lining up the point, working along the edge like so. I have enough room. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so okay, that one is just a little short, but I think it'll be okay with the border stickers that I'm going to, or the border that will go on here. It should be okay, especially since that end piece is white. It'll blend even if it doesn't quite fit. And I can see already I'm going to need a whole bunch more scraps, but you know what? I have a bunch of scraps, so it'll be okay. We're going to cut this one down the middle, so let's center it best we can. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and cut angles on both ends of this paper as well. Don't worry if your area right here isn't meeting exactly, because that gets covered by a sticker, which is a pretty handy thing, I think, that it gets covered by a sticker. Don't you think? All right, we need some of this rainbow sheet in here. So let's move that over just a smidge, and we'll cut a 1-inch piece of this rainbow paper, and then we'll trim each end again. Oh, darn it. Had it all lined up and then I moved it. Maybe I'll put it on the other side, just so we get some more of the yellow. You can pick up that yellow over here. Except it got red. It's okay. I'm going to trim off all of these bits so that we can, so I can see what I'm doing a little bit better. So we're going to just line that up and line that up on my cutting line. Why is that not lining up? Line up the other end. I can use these in another area as well. That's not squared, that's why. I cut it with my scissors and it's not straight. So just be mindful when you're trimming with your scissors, sometimes it doesn't work as well. put this guy here. Sometimes it's tricky because your adhesive likes to, my adhesive likes to grab hold of my strip. I'm gonna also separate this guy. Not cut on the right angle, so hang on a second here. Let's trim these off. I can trim them off super quick with our trimmer here. Just line that up. Wow, these end pieces are what's causing me difficulty. Okay, so let's line it up this way. Okay, now we can line it up this way. trim this so that it's cutting more accurately. I can line it up better. There we go. Now, I want to cut this one going the other way, so I'm going to just realign that and trim it again. So that I can put that in going like so. It's kind of like doing a puzzle, which is fun, except it doesn't quite go all the way. Not quite long enough either direction, is it? So I could put it there. I think I want some more of this paper, but I want a different array of colors. So we're going to cut that. And can I come up here and cut an angle like that? Except I should have gone the other way. Well, I'm cutting off my nose to spite my face, guys. That's not helpful. Okay. Just have to turn it different directions and figure out which way is going to be the best. All right, hold on. And if you're wondering why I'm not using my jumbo adhesive today, it's just because I feel like with all these little pieces, this little one works much more efficiently for you to be able to see what I'm doing. So that would be the reason for that. Not because I don't want to, but just because it's kind of necessary. Okay, so let's see, what else can I add? What's on this side that's not on this side? The blue, the polka dots. The polka dots are not on this side, and that strip would probably fit. So let's wipe off our repositionable adhesive. Repositional for the win. That's a new one, huh? Not exactly like Melissa's, but close. Okay. Let's I don't have that angle right there. long enough, and the angle is not working. So, ooh, I like that. We're going to add this to this side, and then cut a new angle. Do the blue with the little green. Let's do that. Let's add this one. There, and I thought I had another little piece. Let's try this. See how good I am at cutting angles. Not good at all. Look at that. It didn't. It's not right. Okay. I did cut one earlier that went pretty well. That's what overconfidence will get you. Okay, so we're just going to slide this guy in right here to finish that off. And I probably ought to add something to that corner right there, just because it's empty. All right. So I think this is good. This is good. Okay, we're gonna just trim off all of these. And I'm gonna hand cut this one because it's just a little midgy. And this one will line up and trim off using the trimmer. Doesn't really matter what you use to trim it, as long as you trim it and it's cut where you want to cut it, where it needs to be cut. All right, I think we're going to go with that. I don't know. It's kind of wild for me, but that's what I'm going to do for right now. All right. Now, we need a border with an edge to go on the outside. And I think I want something that's going to kind of pull the whole thing together. So I think that's what I was going to use the shimmer for, was to kind of give it an outer edge. Let's use a decorative blade. Let's use, I know I just put my trimmer away, sorry, but let's use a decorative blade. Let's use she used the scallop in hers. I don't know. I think I'm going to go with Victorian. Let's go with Victorian. Because Victorian I like because I don't have to pay attention to which direction it goes in to my trimmer. Someone's in charge of reminding me to put that back in my trimmer before I put it away. Okay, so we're just going to line up our paper on the right hand dotted line on our cutting mat, and that will give us plenty of room to cut any of the decorative edges off. I'm going to cut this on both sides, And then I'm going to trim off a couple pieces. That's going to help me conserve my paper a bit so that I can use it on the other side of the layout, which I will do another time. Because I'm going to do that, I have to replace my blade. That worked good. Okay, so now I'm going to move this out to the 1 inch mark. We're going to cut it at 1 inch. Flip it around and cut another one at 1 inch. Okay, those are going to be our outer border. And then we are going to use some stickers. So some sticker borders. Oops. So that will be a little easier, I think. Okay, so I'm going to use my repositionable adhesive, and I'm going to go all the way down the inside, or the straight edge on these. Need to put that back now. You guys, you gotta watch me. Okay, I'm going to use my mat to help me line this up so that it's straight and so that I am so that it's straight and so that I'm not putting too much on one side or the other. If that makes sense. Hopefully it makes sense. Stay. Okay. So I'm just going to place this down at about 1/2 inch. Okay. And that gives us what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1/4 inches. And then we're going to place this one down at, or this side down at 1/2 inch. Like that. And we have 1/4 inch shy of 6 inches, but it's not straight. So what did I do? Something is not jiving. It's pretty good though. Pretty straight. Alright, we're going to go with it. It's not off by too terribly much. Okay, so then I have all of these border stickers that I have not used. So let's see which one looks the best. I've got this one, which we could put on there. I've got these, which we could add on there. We could do a different one down the middle. You know what I mean? You could do one across the top and bottom that matches, and then one down the middle that's different. That's what they did on this layout, which would be a okay thing to do. If we used this one down the middle, I'm just going to take off one of these shorter little pieces, and let's check that out. If we put that right there in the middle, and we put this on the edge, and the other one of these on the edge, the other edge, I think that actually would be good. I think we're going to do that. I just have a lot of these border stickers that I have not been using. So I'm going to place this so that it holds that outer edge down, and so that I can see roughly 1/4 inch of that out of the outside shimmer paper that we added. Okay, so that's going to go right there like so. This one I'm going to put back on here, and we'll take one of these long ones off. This is going to go straight down the middle. Just covering up a multitude of sins, as my mom would say. So. And then this one will go up here so that we can see roughly 1/8 of an inch of that outer border. So you can see how you can sort of fudge things a little if your trimming gets off just a little bit. What do we think? Wow, that's kind of stunning. And even with the bright colors, I think it'll be grand, as they say. Okay, so I'm going to now grab, our border is done. I'm going to grab this and put away my scraps so that we can use them another day. That up there. That'll go there so it's out of the way. All right, so now I'm going to grab my trimmer, and we're going to cut 2 pieces 1/4 inch wide of this gold shimmer paper. There's one. There's 2. The second one here I'm going to cut in half, so I'm going to cut it at 6 inches. And remember, I have my little cheater thing here on the side, so actually I am just shy of 6 inches. There we go, that's better. Okay, so I have 2 halves and 1 12-inch, 2 6-inch and 2 6-inch and 1 12-inch. I'm going to bring one of my base sheets down here, and we are going to build it upside down. So bear with me here just a second, okay? We're going to take our repositionable adhesive, and we're going to take each one of these 6-inch pieces. They're going to go 1/8 of an inch from the edge on the right and the left. You can see my new mat, and I'm trying hard to make sure I take up all my repositionable adhesive that lands on the mat instead of, what I should do is get my silicone mat out and use it, but I'm lazy, so my friend Donna would be proud. Okay, now we're going to add some adhesive to this one, and try not to get it all over my mat, but it's going to get all over my mat because that's just the way I roll. Alright, and then this one's going to go 1/8 of an inch from the top and all the way across, because this is the 12-inch one. Okay. Now we're going to flip this over, because that's the top of our layout, and this piece is going to go down here on the bottom, and we're going to adhere it. Let me grab my permanent adhesive, and we'll go ahead and get this guy down so he's not moving. We don't need to move him, he's all done. There we go. Alright, so he's going to go edge to edge, and just barely over that gold so that we can see about 1/4 of an inch of the bottom. No, he's crooked. Hold on. I don't like that that's not meeting, so we're going to go a little higher than 1/4 of an inch so that I can cover this other side so the gold's not sticking out. All right. Now, there is our basic layout. I have 3 photos that are going to go on this layout. 2 of them are 1 is a 5x7, 1 is a 4x5 1/4, and then I have 2, so I take that back, I have 4 photos. Did I say 4 photos? And these are in a 5x7 Peekaboo Pocket, which will open this way. All right. Look at how vibrant these rainbows were. There was a double rainbow. I don't know if you can see that online, but there's on the video, there's a double arch that goes across, which is way cool. All right, so this guy is going to go here, centered at the top. Maybe we'll move him over just a piece so that this guy can go and not cover up all of our border down here, but be more like there. And then we'll put a little embellishment here, maybe a little embellishment here. Let's see. Let's see what we can put together. I would have loved to use these, but I needed 4 because there will be a second page, remember? And so I decided not to. Oh, I love this. Little happy moments. That's exactly what that rainbow does for me. Brings me just a little joy. A little joy, right? All right, so little happy moments. And what else should we add to little happy moments? I feel like it needs a little bit of something. A rainbow pocket? Everybody needs a rainbow pocket. And we can add some of these hearts in here as well. Maybe just like that. And you can put that right over that center area where that triangle came together. And it'll be perfect. Okay, so I'm just gonna stick that down rather than popping it up with anything. We probably should have added some kind of a anchor to that, but I think I'm just going to leave it like that. It'll be fine. Let's go ahead and add this picture and the other picture. And I'm going to tidy up my edges just a little. We'll put it about right there. Okay, then this Peekaboo pocket will go on top, and we'll probably have a tab. Or what if we used the rainbow as a tab? Rainbow sticker as a tab. So I'm just gonna stick that like that. And then we'll stick the other one right like that and fold it. Now we have a tab for a rather unique tab for our Peekaboo pocket. And we need one more embellishment, which I want to use some of these for. I'm thinking maybe we could put that there. Add the sun behind it. And then on the other page we could use this other one coming down. What else? What else ought we to put right there? Little happy moments. I don't know if I want more words, so I think I'm gonna leave it at that for right now. I might add more later, but for right now we're just gonna leave it at that. All right, so a fun design, something new, and you'll get to see the facing page in the flip through when the album is done. So something to watch for when that album is completed. Still working on the titles for volume 3, but as soon as I get those done, then that album will be completed, and I'll put that up on the virtual crop page as well as load it to my YouTube so that you guys can see the flip through of the finished album as soon as that is done. But I've been a little busy working on a few other things for you. If you haven't signed up for my sketch challenge yet, please make sure you do that for August. And because I would love to have you participate in that. It's going to be super fun. We're going to do 15 layouts. It's going to be a blast. And we are going to get a lot done. So I hope you'll join me and be all ready for fall and caught up. Thanks so much for creating with me today. And until next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. Enjoy your day.